Well, former Gauteng Finance MEC, it's Barbara Creecy, of course, has refuted former Gauteng Health MEC Esidimeni Mahlangu's claims that the decision to terminate the Life Esidimeni contract had been taken by a budget committee chaired by the former Premier, David Makhura. Now, it was yesterday where Creecy testified at the Life Esidimeni inquest heard by the Pretoria High Court. Now, the inquest is looking to determine who should be held criminally liable for the deaths of 141 mental health patients after the health department moved them to ill-equipped NGOs back in 2015. The story is 8 years old already and still we're no further down the road. Well, here's the latest with reporter Maloko Moloto.
When former health MEC Mahlangu was asked 2 weeks ago who terminated the Life Esidimeni contract, she pointed fingers at the Premier Budget Committee, the so-called PBC.
The decision was taken by PBC, chaired by the Premier and Makhura, and I was present in that meeting, and I'll continue to own up to the decision because I was part of that decision making.
But on Tuesday, Barbara Creecy, who formed part of that committee, dismissed Mahlangu's claims.
That decision could never have been taken because it would have been an unlawful decision. And I have already explained that the Public Finance Management Act does not give a Premier and 4 MECs the right to terminate a contract. Furthermore, if the instruction, as the other council had suggested earlier, was that the head of department must terminate the contract, the Constitution requires that such an instruction needs to be in writing, for the simple reason that politicians or executive officers have no power to make that kind of decision.
Creecy says the presentation made by Mahlangu's department at a November 2014 meeting of the Premier Budget Committee said nothing about moving patients to NGOs. Instead, she said Mahlangu's presentation indicated that mental patients would be placed at government institutions to reduce the amount of bed usage at Life Esidimeni facilities by 20% per year. Mahlangu's response to a parliamentary question in the November 2015 meeting of the Gauteng Legislature's Health Portfolio Committee was read out in court.
She says, "Let me lastly end with the Life Esidimeni. We are not married to any service provider, member Bloom. And the point we have made in the public, which I want to repeat in this House, is that we are not going to throw any patient away. If people have shares at Life, it is not our problem. If people have got personal interest in Life Esidimeni or in the Life Health Group, it is not our problem. What we are saving is 300 million rand that we are spending at Life. Yet we can treat the patients in other facilities differently with the same level of care without necessarily spending that amount of money because we no longer have the money."
But Creecy told the court the mental health care and Life Esidimeni budget allocations were never reduced. Instead, they increased. Former Gauteng Premier David Makhura will take to the witness stand on Wednesday. Maloko Moloto, Johannesburg.